Thinking about this recent wonderful weekend day of sailing outside of Chicago, I ask myself, how can I get across the many facets of pleasure I and many others like me associate with sailing? On this particular Sunday in June, we trolled the Helly Hansen Sailing World Chicago Regatta, where over 160 sailboats were out competing. And that's not counting the many other recreational sailboats like mine who were not competing, but instead were shaking out their sails and preparing for their own adventures. There are a lot of difficulties that owning a boat and sailing brings. Things always break, spiders find their way on board to live, swarms of black flies attack you and the crew on particular days. You can find yourself becalmed in the heat or getting seasick in rough, unanticipated seas. And what about all the work that goes into maintaining a sailboat and the running costs of sailing ownership? I'm spending an unsustainable amount of money in Chicago to store, maintain, and upgrade this sailboat. If I want to retire soon, and I do want to retire soon, so I can focus on my sailing obsession, I'll need to make a change to a more economical approach. But why go through all this financial strain and time investment just so this year I can take a 7-day sailing trip and string together a number of day sails on the summer weekends? Let's look at the day that inspired this video. We had sunny and better wind conditions than were forecast. We had 3 of 4 crew members that had never sailed together before and were meeting for the first time. One of the crew members, my neighbor, had never really sailed before, but sailing brought us together in a fun social experiment. We could look west and see the glorious Chicago skyline with all of its marvelous architecture displayed in full splendor. And along the lake, about 4 miles out from the shore, were 3 or more racing circles where sailboats had converged to compete for top racing honors. For us to sail near these circles provided unique viewing vantages of all the activity and sail changes required for these boats to eke out as much boat speed as possible, given the course, distance, wind, and time allotted. This was a day where the southern end of a cold front was working its way toward Chicago, and by 5 p.m., the city was in the midst of a deluge of rain, accompanied by thunder and lightning. This front had the potential to impact the wind experienced hours before and certainly would make conditions spicy for sailors still on the water as the storm front approached. Learning how the weather works is important for sailors. So back to the question, is sailing better than sex? How do I explain to non-sail addicts the positive feelings I get from sailing? It's like how runners experience a runner's high, or mountain climbers feel when they summit a previously unattainable peak. A skier or a scuba diver who travel the world to ski or dive, but just can't get enough of their passion. It is a passion, or brings passion for life. The ups and downs, the challenges that must be faced, the fulfilling feelings associated with the best conditions, and the thrilling rush of adrenaline brought about by unexpected conditions. It attracts a diverse group of people, yet that diversity also has commonality. Sailors tend to be capable and self-sufficient. They can get along with less and endure some hardship for the anticipated reward of a shared adventure. Sailors appreciate nature and the outdoors. Sailors tend to be continual students of life, nature, travel, sailing, and their boats. They embrace adventure. Seeing new things and going down the road less traveled resonates to a sailor. Here are some responses I got when asking people why they like to sail.
Just the sound of the water. The sound of the water, silence. Once we turn that engine off and we raise the sails, it's just the perfect feeling.
The support for sailors in Chicago area is fantastic. It's a very close community. Everybody's willing to help you.
Well, it's a company to begin with.
Yeah.
But then it's the sailing experience. It's a nice refuge from the city busy life.
Sailing resonates as a metaphor for life, where all of the sailboats are making their way around a body of water. The boats are our bodies and spirits as we make our way through life. I'll say this, sailing may not be a thing that brings you as much passion as it brings to me, There are many other things outside of our jobs that might offer you a reason to truly embrace life and look forward to what the next day brings. Some people love restoring cars, some love their pets, some love making furniture, some love to ski or hike or scuba dive or mountain climb, some fly, some like to make model trains or simply to travel. But whatever it is, I hope with all of my heart that you have found it or you're consciously looking for it, because too many people, I think, are going through life on a hamster wheel. Our mental health is important, and it is our individual responsibility to maintain awareness of it, take responsibility for it, and find what brings us joy and passion. And yes, sailing is better than sex. There, I said it. You are welcome to comment and bring on your own opinion. I want to thank my current subscribers. I really appreciate your support for this channel. If you have stayed until the end, please consider pressing that like button. This is free to you, and it tells YouTube that the video is worth sharing to others like you. This is Sailor Eric. Thanks for watching.